This is how you can always ensure that you have good topology, especially when you're dealing with complex object like this steering wheel right here. This steering wheel was made by a member of the digitally enhanced club. We just did a steering wheel challenge, and the steering wheel may look pretty good when you render it and all that, but the problem is that the steering wheel has pretty shitty topology. And if you look at the wireframe, you can see what I'm talking about. And I'm going to teach you how to quickly do something like this without having shitty topology. And I'm going to teach you something that nobody's ever told you before, but if you understand what I'm telling you, it's like you're going to start to see colors for the first time. All right, the world is going to change forever. You're going to fundamentally change the way you view these things. And if you're smart, you're probably going to notice that this kind of also can carry over to certain other areas of your life. Okay, what happened here is that this person did kind of what everybody has always been telling them to do, but this is wrong. All right, what they did was they first tried to solve this problem by modeling this kind of outline shape, this inner shape here, which doesn't have the holes or anything. So they wanted to do like a blockout model. This is what everybody tells you to do for whatever fucking reason. But the problem is that when you do something like this, and then you try to add the holes into that, you gotta add the holes into the geometry of the outer object or the blockout object, such as it is. Which is a problem because most people, when they do this outer object or the blockout object, they don't keep in mind that in order to make these kind of details, they need to have a very specific type of geometry. Their geometry has to be arranged in a very specific way. And you're only going to realize that once you've already made this, and holy shit, my geometry is completely wrong, okay? So what you're not supposed to do is kind of like when you're sketching something, you do an outline first, and then you start adding the details. That's wrong when you're doing this type of 3D modeling. What you're supposed to do is the other way around. You're supposed to start by modeling the complicated area first, and then use that geometry to model out the rest, the simple shit. Okay, and I'm going to show you how you can do that. And by the way, guys, this is the type of shit that we do inside the Digitally Enhanced Club, all right? If you want to have somebody comment on your works, if you got to get some feedback, sometimes you're going to be doing something completely wrong and you're not even going to know it. Imagine if you're somebody whose topology was like this and nobody told you that your topology is completely fucked up. Well, you're going to think this is okay, and no one's going to tell you, and they're not going to want to hire you. You're not going to know why they don't want to hire you, so you're just going to end up playing video games instead. So this is what we do inside the Digitally Enhanced Club. We do challenges to reveal your vulnerabilities so that we can tell you what you're doing wrong, and we can tell you how you can fix it and become better, okay? Here's a very simple way to do something like this, and this is how you can do almost anything else. You first have to identify what is the most complex part of this object, and you're going to quickly realize that's this central area right here where you got all the holes for the screws. You got a big hole in the middle, and then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes around it. So we can start in this case by making a circle first, but we got to be very careful with how many vertices we're going to have on that circle in the middle. So let's say that we're going to create a circle over here. Okay, let me just place my 3D cursor to the world origin. We're going to add a circle over here, and that circle has to have a number of vertices which is suitable for the situation, which is going to allow us to create six of these holes around it. So let's say hypothetically we decide, okay, 6 vertices, because that's going to give us 6 edges which we can extrude into 6 faces. And if we rotate that by, let's say, 30 degrees, now we have some geometry here. And we can use these faces, especially if we subdivide this, we can use these faces to create these little circles over here, okay? And this is going to retain good topology. The problem is that we only have 6 vertices, and the circle here doesn't look good. Everything looks kind of shitty. What you're going to do instead, you're going to use 24 vertices, or any number of vertices which is a multiple of 6. You could use 12, but that's not really going to be good enough. You could also use 48, but then you're going to have so many that it's going to become difficult to work with. You could also try 18, because that's also a multiple of 6. That's 6 by 3. And then you're going to extrude this out, and now all you need in this case is, let's say, 1 extra loop cut, because we are going to add some subdivision surface. And all you got to do then is inset this with our loop tool circle, turn this into a little circle, and there you have your first hole. Now, the only problem here is that we got to make sure that all these holes are going to be identical. So we're only going to make one segment with the hole, and then we're going to rotate that into a circle so that we can have all the others exactly at the same size. All right, so let's get this one right first. And now we're going to take 1/6, which is going to be 3 of these 3 sections, 3 segments like this. Control I to invert the selection. The 3D cursor is in the middle of the circle. select everything, Alt D, spin, use duplicates. We want 6 steps, get rid of this extra shit. And now we got all this, we got all these little holes, and if you want to delete them, or if you want to make them smaller, you can just fill them all and scale them down. For example, in this case, we can do similar amount of adjacent edges and faces with Shift G, or similar amount of, faces around a fucking edge or whatever, right? And deselect the outside, and with individual origins, we can just scale this to our preference. And now the other thing that we have to do is create everything else here. So in this case, we can move this vertex around, or we can change this outer geometry. You can see that we have very little geometry here, which makes it very easy to do these things. We don't have to worry about, imagine if we had a circle here which had 128 vertices, how many vertices we would now have down here. And now you got to straighten them out, and now you got to line them with the rest of this object, and it just becomes a massive fucking headache. In this case, what I'm going to do here is I'm also going to scale this up a little bit so it aligns with this outer part here. And then I'm going to add a loop cut, and as everywhere else, now I got 8 faces, and for some reason this doesn't work right. This is the type of shit that just happens sometimes in Blender. In fact, when you're using a computer, this type of shit just happens all the time. I can't even begin to explain to you what OBS, my recording software, did to me today psychologically. It's really unbelievable. Sometimes I wish that I was just working construction. I'm sure that the construction guys want to switch places with me sometimes because I got an easy job, right? I'm just sitting at a fucking computer, but I see it the other way around. You lose your mind when you work at a computer. I can't even begin to... Anyway, listen. We can't use our... if we can't use our loop tools, we're just going to add another little circle here, Shift A. We can even get rid of this, Shift A, loop tools, circle, and that can have 8 vertices, and fuck it, I'm just gonna connect it to all this other stuff outside here manually with W bridge edge loops, and there we go. And now we just have to go around this model and continue extruding this geometry so that we can align it with the outside. We can place our 3D cursor here and just extrude and scale these things away from the 3D cursor like this. We can maybe bring these a little bit closer inwards, and then we can use our G stretch tool here to straighten these out. Loop tools G stretch over here, and we can add another loop cut, and we can fill this like this. And you're just going to continue to go around this model. It'll be pretty wise to just use a mirror modifier so we don't have to do everything twice. Let's say we're also going to bring this up here a little bit higher. We're going to align this part like this, and then let's say maybe we can even align this part up here on the y-axis if you want to, but now we're kind of stretching it out, so I don't want to push my luck. Now we can maybe take some of this geometry and extrude it out on the x-axis and bring it to somewhere around here. We can scale this down a little bit, and we're just going to keep working until it looks kind of nice. And all you got to do now is this part on the side over here. So let's just take, let's say we're going to put this into the little corner like this, or do something like that. Subdivision surface, so we see what's going to happen next. I'm going to use my loop tools to space these out evenly. Maybe I'll use a little bit of G stretch here. You can see that I'm just going to use the loop tools to clean this up a little bit. But over time, I'm going to get to the point where I'm now finished with half of my model, and then I'm going to be able to mirror that to the other side. So let's just clean this up a little bit further real quick. I don't want to spend 3 days doing this shit on camera, because you guys understand the point I'm trying to make with this video. But now all we got to do is make this last screw over here, W loop tools circle, whatever, let's just leave that there. Obviously this is going to be a little bit nicer if you spend some more time cleaning up, but this is the type of shit you're going to start to do once you start thinking about your topology a little bit better, because all we had to do in this case was do the inner part first and make sure that you do the complicated parts, the detailed parts, with as little geometry as possible. That's going to make everything much easier to create. All right, so this is how you end up with a steering wheel like this. And of course, the last thing I'm going to add here, which you also want to keep in mind, is that now when you have a shape like this, if you want to extrude this, and let's say we're going to keep these sides empty because we want to add something else here, or we want this to be sharp, all you got to do now is select all the sharp edges. So Shift G, select similar face angles. Let me use a different matte cap because this is a pain in the ass to look at. All you got to do now is select all the sharp edges, which are currently a little bit too smooth because of the subdivision surface modifier. And you're just going to bevel those with Control B, all right? Control B, and with P, we're going to extend those out. What I did there was Control B, and then I press P to control the shape of the bevel. But anyway, you can also do that once you already have this little menu down here. And you got to be careful not to get any clipping like this, so don't push them too far. In this case, you might want to move these away a little bit so you don't have these tight passages over here. But that's how you get these kind of shapes. This is what you can do from now on when you're modeling shit. If you want to learn more Blender tips that you see me use in these videos here, okay, you can check out my Blender Pro Tips ebook. I'm going to tell you about a million different Blender tools. You can check them out in there. But at least like the damn video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you want to see next. And I'll see you in the next one.